Hey everybody, how you doing? Uncle Vinny here. You know what's coming up? That's right, Health Chat. Grab a cup of coffee, sit back, relax, and enjoy the show.
I'm Dr. Nick Circolone, and as always, I'm so excited to be here. I just enjoy hanging out with you guys. Today, you probably noticed that, wait a minute, he's in a different place. That's right, we're actually in my office today, and I am sitting on a Swiss ball. And why am I sitting on a Swiss ball? Because we're continuing some of this balance that we talked about before, where you can use the Swiss ball or the gym ball to do some exercises to help with your balance. Not only that, but also help with your core. This ball is so versatile that you can use it for just about anything. I know a lot of people use this ball at the office to just sit and just work on their posture. But what we're going to do is we're going to kind of explain how to use the ball and strengthen the core as well as increase balance. Believe it or not, as I'm sitting here right now, I am using my core, but I'm also using my balance. One of the first things that we could talk about today is the hip circles. They're just small little hip circles. Now, if you have some balance issues, dizziness, I would not recommend you doing this. You got to get that checked out first before you can start working on one of these balls, making sure that you can actually sit on it without falling over. Believe it or not, there's a lot of people that have a hard time sitting on one of these balls. Now, you don't want a ball that's super inflated and you don't want a ball that's underinflated. So what you want to do is you want to get a ball that's comfortable. This is about the right size for me. There's different millimeters. If you look at the balls, you'll be able to look on them on the side and be able to tell what ball this is. If you look at this ball, this is a 75 centimeter ball. What's interesting about this ball, it's made by TheraBand. I like this ball for lots of reasons. Number one, it's a high grade of vinyl that makes it, but also if I were to take a knife and puncture this ball, I would not fall right to the floor. I would slowly sink down. That is very, very important that you get a ball that is burst proof. Trust me on this, you do not want a ball that you pay $2 or $3 for at the Dollar Tree. That will cause injuries later on, and that's what we don't want. Remember, we want you to be safe. We don't want you to get hurt. So again, this is just one of those things where we're just going to be working on minor things. Some core stuff, some balance. And again, just sitting on the ball is balance. You can literally do marching in place on the ball. Don't want you leaning back too far, because if you lean back too far, what can happen is you can lose the ball, fall, and hurt yourself. There's some other things you can do. Besides the hip circle, you can go forward and back, slowly. Don't go too far where you're ending up down here. That's another exercise that we can do, but you have to be careful of that one as well. But I don't want you doing that today. What I want you to do is just going forward and backwards, stepping and marching, forwards and backwards, stepping and marching. These are going to help. You can literally try side to side, like this, and this will help with your balance as well. Now, if you notice, I get my foot out first, then I put my other foot down. Out, down, out, down. You don't want to jump between these. You could try that, but if your balance is poor, do not do that. So what I want you to do is gently work this, slow and working that balance. While you're keeping your core tight as you do these, as you go up and down, as you go forwards and backwards, forwards and backwards. Now, don't jump forward, don't jump back, don't do any of that stuff, because you can get hurt, and that's what I don't want you to do, is to get hurt. So easy little hip circles, tiny little hip circles. These, you use some muscles, but right here, this starts working these transverse, your rectus abdominis, and some of your lat muscle too, because you're trying to keep things straight. Transverse is very important to work on, okay? You want that six-pack, but you want to get these lateral ones working as well, or the transverse muscles. And just gently turning. See this? This is a little bit too much. We just want to keep it. A lot of people use a brace with their hands. I don't want you doing that. I just want you to have your hands up like this and just gently do this. Every exercise, you don't want to brace. You want to be free to move. Remember, stepping side to side, going forward going back, doing your hip circles. Just like this. So, here's the routine. We're going to do small hip circles. Remember what I said, small, not large, very small hip circles. We're going to go forwards. We're going to go back. Then we're going to go side to side. Hip circles, forward, back, side to side. Those 3 little exercises will help you. As we get into using the ball, we're going to start doing some floor stuff. We'll be doing a Superman exercise. We'll be doing side planks. We'll be doing things to help not only the core, but your balance. One of the things that I want to go through today is we were going to do a little bit more advanced. Now, we did the march forward. Now, we can march forward and we could sit in this position. This right here will help your back, will help decrease some tension in your back. But you want to be very careful. The first time I did this, I actually slipped, bam, right on my tush. That was not fun. It was also embarrassing because I was with a patient. So you have to be careful. Make sure you're not on a slick surface. Make sure you're wearing shoes that are going to give good grip. And as you go forward, don't go too far. I can go all the way down. And what I don't want you to do is extend too much. We just want to be in a neutral position. And it's kind of hard to see this, so I'm going to turn a little bit sideways and do this. So when we do this, I'm in this position. Not really far down. My tush is still on the ball, and my back is straight. And we're just like this. So we could come back up to this position, roll down, and come back. Just like we started yesterday. You remember I said walk forward, walk back, or last week rather. So we want to come all the way down this time. And we can go further down as you get used to it. But remember, you want to have good grip on the floor. You want to make sure as you're coming back up that you're stabilizing yourself. The ball seems to be one of those things where people have a hard time. They're afraid. You're inches off the ground, actually 18 to 24 inches off the ground. If you fall, you can get hurt. So being able to sit on a ball is key. If you can't sit on a ball, do not do it. Another thing that I want you to try to do is once you get on the floor. Now, if you have bad knees, if you have a back that hurts when you get into certain positions, don't do these. These are a little bit more advanced. So what I want you to do is I want you to get behind the ball like this. Have your hands on the ball, sit up straight, lean over the ball like this. So you're just resting, okay? I don't want you to keep your head up like I'm doing. I'm just doing it so I can see you and talk to you. But what you want to do is you want to go forward, tippy toes, and back. Forward, and tippy toes, and back. Back, forward. Now let's look at that sideways, okay? And I'm going to put my head down this time so you can see what I mean. So here, your head is down, and it's in line with your shoulders and with your back. Come back up. Go forward. See where I am? My shoulders, my ears, and my shoulders are even, and my hips are in line with that. And back again. Those might be a little bit more difficult, okay? Just a little harder to do because you're on your knees. If you have issues, don't do it. There's always ways to modify some things. But one of my favorite exercises to do is called the Superman. Well, you can do that on the ground, but there's a lot of pressure that gets on your back. So when you're in this position and you arch this way, if you have low back pain due to facet or joint issues, this is not a good exercise for you. But if you don't, this is a great core exercise and it helps with balance. So let's try that. Let me show you how that works. We're in the same position. We're going forward and holding it, and then going back. Well, now what we're going to do is we're going to take away. See, these hands are helping me balance. We're going to go forward, and we're going to lift and hold it. Come back. We're going to go forward, and we're going to lift. Now, this ball is moving in all kinds of directions. What's happening here is my core is starting to engage. My core is engaging, and my body is trying to balance itself. That's exactly what you want to do. When you're standing, we try those balance exercises with standing. When you're on the ball, the same muscles that you use to stand erect and balance are being used on the ball. So when you go sideways, remember what I said about your head. You want to go forward, head down, between your shoulders, and there it is. Come back and roll back. Keeping the ball close. That's important to keep the ball close to you. As you keep the ball close to you, it's not going to roll away or roll out from you. You want to keep it right close as you go forward, get stabilized, and then bring your arms up. And right here, you can see me moving a little bit, just trying to keep that balance. Guys, those couple little exercises seem difficult, seem like they would be, oh, I don't know if I could do that. If you can't, don't do it. That's as simple as that. But I will tell you this, it will help increase your balance, improve your overall function. Remember what we talked about. Function is so important, but balance is a big key in that function. So guys, have a great week. We love you, and we'll see you next week.
I'll try it.